Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I live in Durham, North Carolina. I love to make junk journals. I am out in my workshop currently. I call it fondly Paper Town. Okay, definitely wanted to have the camera on to do this. At work, I put together what I call junk journal packs. Sometimes we have things that would otherwise be recycled. Just single sheets of paper floating around, or paper that has somehow gotten wrinkled or has some sort of stain on it. And most people are not interested in buying that. They're looking for clean paper. Now, some of the artists who come in, the book artists and mixed media artists, they love things like that. But things have to cycle through when you're dealing with so much material. So instead of recycling some of these things, I put together junk journal packs, and people seem to like them. I just picked one at random, and I thought what I would do is clear the desk off the best I can. Let me move a few more things I want you to be able to see. And I am going to just look at this from the view of perhaps teaching a class with this. I tie these up in a knot because I know how, shoppers, they don't mean to, but when you start handling things and moving them around, it would be so easy for just a bow to come untied, and then we would have things everywhere. Let's look and see what's in this one, though. I honestly have no idea. I just pick up a stack of stuff. I have trays that are probably like 5 tall times 3. And I just put all sorts of stuff in there. And then the pack on top. So this comes from just bits of paper. We might get a donation where there's just 5 or 6 pieces of paper floating around, or maybe a card that someone's already written in or something. And I have bins that I just throw these things into, and then I make a pack for the top, and the bottom part is going to be the cover and the paper. So what is a junk journal? I have really been thinking lately that I would love to know exactly where the term started. So if anybody knows, I want to actually research it. But if anybody already knows who sort of coined the phrase, a junk journal started out, as we all know, with basically just using junk to make a journal. And then it's evolved into absolutely gorgeous journals that really aren't junk. So let's see, here we have an old reproduction bill that's torn. That probably was left over on the ephemera table. There's a piece of paper cut out of a magazine. Here's part of a sympathy card. I do rotate the cards, the greeting cards, and so here we have zoo books. That was probably something that was on the shelf for a while, and ooh, that's pretty. And rather than recycle it, because when you have constant things coming in, you cannot keep everything all the time. For one thing, you don't have room, and another thing is that people won't shop. It'll get too difficult to sift through things that are old. So another thing I might have in these packs, I process just paper and office supplies, but sometimes somebody will have something in their donation that's just totally random. It may be a piece of ribbon, or something that just doesn't belong, and if it's something I can throw in a junk journal pack, that's what I do. So here's an envelope that had greeting cards in it, and it's just empty. It looks like dividers here from where somebody had their greeting cards sorted. There's a piece of wallpaper. So you can see this tag that says $1. The entire roll was $1, but it never sold. And instead of recycling it or trying to somehow get it to another place where it could be used, I used it in my junk journal packs. So let's just see what all is in here. A couple of envelopes. There's a paper doily. I do, said Frog, and they lived happily ever after. We also have little drawings and things that come in with the donations where kids have, maybe done their schoolwork or whatever. So let's see what we can make with this. And So we know what's in here. These are all the little decorations and things that we're going to use. There's strips of paper that might have been for quilling, and it was just sort of floating around loose. But let's look through here and see what we have that we can make a cover with. Neat. There's book page, folder that's been written on. And one of the things I love to do, which, you know what? I don't know if I did it in this one. I normally put a couple of pages from a Somerset magazine, Stampington, so that they have inspiration. And this looks like some sort of maybe a book cover or something, or a magazine page that was Xeroxed, maybe an online version of a magazine. But we get book covers, we get all sorts of things. This, I'm definitely going to use that with the ragged edges, and you can see why this would not have been put on the shelf. It's mostly used, the cover's gone, and somebody has written in it. This was probably in a notebook from where, from a teacher or a student. 12 bar blues, key of C, that's interesting. And here's a bunch of beer cartons that were donated. So I figured we could get some words out of these. This is kind of heavy paper. This is nice. And it's got the holes punched in it. So and look, I even put corrugated cardboard in. This is a neat bag. Cabinet knobs, drawer pulls, and screws. That's where somebody donated. Pages from a photo album. There was no photo album, and these were not in any sort of packaging. And now here we get to some manila folders, more corrugated cardboard. And I love this piece. So that's corrugated. It's black. It's really heavy. I wonder if that could be the cover. I really, really love this. I would want to be careful bending it. Maybe I should score it, or, I don't want to bring in any fabric to this, honestly. I want to just try to, want to keep it simple. So let's do this. Let's measure. It's about 12 and a half inches across. And I think I'll do something similar to last time where I made the cover just a little bit more narrow than the back cover. Well, this might work to score it. So 12 and a half, 6 1/4. So let's go back to about 6. There's my mark. Let's see if I can do this. Try to get it even. I'm just going to lay this down, and that definitely gives me a bit of a fold line. Ah, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That is perfect. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put probably quite a few pages in here, honestly. And I want it to be sturdy enough that it's not going to just tear up. So I think what I'll do is reinforce the center. That's a pretty color on there. It's not quite tall enough. Maybe I should use part of a file folder. And we're going to treat this like it's junk. I mean, we're not going to worry. Oops, I thought that was a pencil. What color is that? Let's just use a pencil to get a line here. And, that's bumpy. And here. And I am going to cut this out. I am really feeling it in my knees today. My job is very physical. I'm on my feet for 8 straight hours, and I push around large bins full of donations, and I lift heavy things. I like it. I love it, actually. But some days I do feel it in my knees and my hips. I need to start taking my glucosamine again. So I'm not going to worry about getting these wavy lines here. But you know what? I might cut in a little bit more because I like those wavy, that edge, that kind of rough edge. Oh, here's a little star. I think that was in the pack. Does it go this way? Let's do it this way. And I am going to glue this in. I see that I could stand to cut. Well, no, I like that. And what I'm going to do, so that I don't have too much stuff on the desk, I'm going to start making a pile right on the floor next to me so that I can easily get to things, but we don't have a big pile of trash starting on the desk. Okay, let's put plenty of tacky glue. I need more tacky glue. Oh no, don't run out. I also have my Dollar Tree glue, but for something like this, I really want it to hold. And now let's take this and kind of spread that glue around. I'm going to add some of this just for good measure. But I really love the way the tacky glue holds. It's my favorite glue. Everybody sort of has their favorite glue, I think. And, is this the way we had it? I think so. So let's push that in. Okay, so this can be drying. Actually going to drop just a little bit more at the edge here. And we can always come back later and add even more, but I think that's pretty good. So let's let this be drying. And it's not folded just perfect. You can see we have more of this showing at the top than the bottom, but that's fine with me. It is a junk journal. Now let's lay some of the small things up here, and let me take my corrugated cardboard and put it to the side. And now let's start looking at pages. We have some file folders left over that we can use for later. I'm going to put those behind me. This is almost, this is going to be maybe a page embellishment. And same with this. That's kind of a thick paper bag, almost too thick, I think, to fold to make a pocket. But we might end up making a pocket with this. And here's more of the corrugated cardboard. Here is a fun envelope. Now we might be able to fold that one to make a cool pocket. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut the end off of that because I do want to use that. And sometimes what I like to do is, well, let's see. Let's pull that strip off, and then we can shorten this part so that it gives us a space to reach in. So there's a couple of pages there. Ooh, I like that paper. Very crinkly. This is, I think this was with a piece of art. Yeah, if you plan to frame this reproduction, we suggest cutting out and attaching this panel to the back of the framed print. No idea what the print looked like. There's a nice piece of black paper. At first I thought maybe that was the paper where you scratch it to get a design, but it's not. A nice big envelope here. That would be maybe a cool page. So let's go ahead and start folding some of these. And I know that I want to, that paper's really smooth. Let's just see how tall. That sticks out too much. Here, that'll work. Okay, we have that. And let's just keep looking. Oh, this is really nice paper. I think it's just so smooth. And it feels like it would actually be good to do artwork on. Now, I've been surprised before by thinking that something was great and then it didn't. Maybe it started to peel or tear up when you got water on it. This is definitely not going to be a page. We might use that for some embellishments. I don't know that I want blue pages in here. Maybe I'll save that for a different project. I kind of want this one to be just grungy. So I'm going to put this one to the side, and let's fold this. I know that's a couple of sheets, or 3 sheets actually. Let's just take one of those. And then we folded it so it'll fit in the journal, and that leaves 1 page longer. So I'm going to fold this over and make a flap. Ooh, I know I want some of this musical stuff. So let's fold this one. Let's see what else we've got first. That's kind of fun. Let's fold that. I don't really want this shiny strip here at the bottom. It's like a whole reinforcement part of the page. And don't know if I want any more of these, so let's put that to the side. I'm not sure if I want that. She's kind of cute. He's cute too, but I'm just thinking about how I want the journal to end up looking. So let's tear out some of these. There's 1, 2. There's enough of that. I don't want that image. I may use some of the words. Oh, I do like this though. I really like that. That's kind of neat. We may, we could, if there's part of that I don't like, I could block it out and just keep the part that I do like. This thing's bothering me, the way it keeps flipping out. So let's fold these. I love making journals. They're so inspiring, and I see the excitement, or maybe the like the wonder, if I make a really eclectic junk journal and take it to work and put it on display. And it's the same if somebody donates a journal and I put it on display. It's like seeing a part of somebody's, oh, this is neat. Seeing a part of somebody's personality or a part of their life. Oh, that's interesting. And people just sort of stand and, look. Junk journals are just really, really, really fun. We might use some of the images from this. I don't think I want to use green in this one. This one ended up with an old book page. Another old, or magazine page. Yeah, book page, magazine. Ah, that's interesting. The whole wall is a fireplace. So I like the sort of the grunge of this one. That says proposal writing. I don't think I want yellow in this one, so I'm going to pass on that one. I think even though this is shiny, I love that the images there, hand tools. And this was from a book about printing. So let's take that. And, ooh, I love the feel of that paper. Let's put that in. Let's go ahead and fold this. It actually helps me a lot to sit down and use one of these packs because it lets me know what people are getting and if they have enough, you know, to make a journal and have things left over, if they have enough to be inspired. So there's that. I do want this music. And that's fun. I don't want that as a page though. We might use some of these little squares. There's that. And I don't think I want to have the purple. And now we still have all of these things that we can use as embellishments. That's pretty. I wonder if that should be some sort of a page, but I don't think so. Is that a piece of wallpaper? That's pretty. That could be a page. I think I'm going to cut it down. Let's trim that one spot. So that's going to be a page. And what's in here? Lots of words. We can cut words from here. And they're in well, and that's cool. Okay, so I think we have enough pages. Unless we also wanted to turn this into a page. But I think I'm going to use that maybe for pockets or decorating. I'm going to put all of this to the side for right now. Is there anything in here I want to use? That's pretty. We might have to use some of these. Oh, look at all that. This whole thing. I didn't realize so much of this was about butterflies. You know, I don't think I want to use these as pages. I'm probably going to cut some butterflies out to embellish, but look at that. Okay, that's awesome. Put that to the side, and now let's see about ordering these pages. I know I've said before, I like to kind of spread out the blank pages. I don't really like this hanging over, so I'm going to cut this wallpaper page down just a little bit more. Maybe about that much. So I like to, I don't want to have like, you know, 6 blank pages in a row and then 6 decorated pages. I like to sort of intersperse them. I don't want 2 of those in a row with the little flip out. So let's spread those out. Let's put this and then some of this paper and the notebook paper. And if you don't want the lines this way, you can tape 2 pieces side by side and then cut them however you want so that the lines are running the other way. I'm not too worried about that, honestly, because this is just going to be a junk journal. And now I'm just going to keep laying these pages in here. And let's put this black one there. We may end up tearing this down to give it a sort of a deckled edge. That's kind of neat, but let's do this. And then this. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut the ends of this like I did the other envelope, because that way we will have these large pockets. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this just like that. It's okay if that doesn't come all the way off. And there, we've kind of already got a place there, but I think I'm gonna make it a little bit more, taper it away more from the edge or whatever. I think you know what I mean. Let's see, more notebook paper and maybe a music page. More notebook paper. And there. Now the thing is, as far as binding it, am I going to do like a pamphlet stitch? That would be pretty. Love that. And then when we open it, let's go ahead and make sure that it's going to open and close okay. Okay, that's going to be all right. I know this is hanging over more than I want it to, but we can come back and tear some of these pages once we have them in the book. Have some more of this paper to use up, so maybe I will put one here. And this is pretty much the way I do my books. If I have some left over, I kind of go back through and start thinking, okay, where could this fit in? And now okay, so I just want to tell you what I'm feeling here. I really probably should have opened this flat before I started to let it dry. You can see it's making a crease right here, and I think it's because it's pulling. Can you see how this is standing up? And I don't think it's going to be a big deal. It's just, I don't think it was flat, if that makes sense. I think it was, I glued it down when it was folded like that. So then when you open it, anyway, I think you know what I'm saying. I should have laid it out completely flat and worked with it some to make sure it was going to open and close, but I think it's fine. I still think it's fine. So let's take this, and I'm not going to do any sort of template or measuring or anything like that. And I'm going to use this huge awl that looks like almost an ice pick. I don't think it is an ice pick though. And I'm just going to go right through the center. And see, that's going to make a really big hole that's easy to see. And I want to use maybe some neutral sort of cord, if I have anything like that right now. This will be good. 1, 2, 3. I do about 3 lengths of the book. And now I've got to find a needle. I want a large needle. Not too large though. These are huge. These are just more for, because I thought they were really cool. There's my needle. Still a big needle. And I'm going to put the first pass through from the outside because I want it to tie on the outside. Okay, so there's that one. And now let's put another hole in. I'm going to put it down about this far. And I'm trying really hard to not get my fingers. I don't want to get my fingers. Okay. So then this goes through here. And that hole, it's just so easy when you use a really big awl like that to come back through. So there's that. And you can probably gather from this that I have absolutely no plan in mind. There's no color theme. I'm not thinking ahead, you know, what am I going to do to the cover? I think everything will just turn out the way it's supposed to. And things that jump out at me from this junk journal kit, I think everything will fall into place. And if we need to make some changes or repairs, we will definitely do that. I'm not really worried about it. Now, one thing I did think about, and it's true, this is stiff. So it's kind of wanting to stand open. And we might, because of that, we might make some sort of tie or closure. Now, let's see if we can even these cords up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and tie this. Okay, let's really pull that tight. And I do like to put a drop of glue. Hello. Oh, it's probably too much. I don't know. I started doing that when I was making jewelry. I still love to make bracelets, like with the elastic and the beads. And I don't know if you have E6000, it just seems like it helps to put a tiny drop of glue when you tie the knot in the elastic. So there's that. Now let's start thinking about, I mean, I did put some ribbon in this. I tied it with this ribbon. This is a long piece of ribbon, actually. So we definitely don't need the whole thing. And how would we want to attach it? Maybe glue it? Glue something over the top of the cardboard? We could do that. We might do that because I know that I want to have an image on the front. And I probably, let's start bringing some of this stuff back up. I probably want to use a piece of that corrugated cardboard on the front. Like that. That's really cool. Something else I know that I want to do is to take some, let's see, maybe some texture paste. And just make a mess. Now, who knows if this is going to stay? But you know what? We're just trying stuff, and we want this to feel junky. I also want to add some paint. Some acrylic paint. I think what I'm going to do is, let's move this. I think I'm going to do some things to grunge up the cover. And maybe then I will, I'm going to get a couple of things going, working on some things to change the color of that ribbon and to mess this up a little bit. You can see how it really went down in some of those lines. And the places where we've got the texture paste, it's kind of built it up. I'm just going to run over the top of that. Okay, I'm going to let this dry, and I'm wondering, to be able to change the color of this ribbon, if what do I want to do to this? I think we'll definitely get it wet to start with. And then I wonder if we take an ink pad. Ooh, maybe this rusty ink pad. My poor ink pads. Ooh, look at that. Is it going through? I love that. Oh my goodness. We might as well do the whole thing. This poor ink pad. But it's okay. I'm not disrespecting. Do you see the sticker on that? I've had that ink pad for so long. $2. I bought it at the scrap exchange way back. I think just for good measure, too. Okay, so we have that, and it does look pretty rusty. Let's put that back on there. For good measure, let's bring in some alcohol ink. I don't want sunshine yellow. This is caramel. Whoa, I knew that was going to happen. I could feel that it wasn't, that it was clogged or something. All right, oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So we're going to let that dry, and we're going to let this dry, and we're just going to have this wonderful grungy. I love it when the paint dries and it's got texture to it. So let's put that to the side. You know, one thing that we can do is go ahead and take a look at this, because I know I want a piece of the cardboard, the corrugated cardboard, and I think the easiest way to get that pretty, if you wet it, you have to get it pretty wet to get that to start peeling away. I might want to leave some of it. Oh, that's going to be amazing. Okay, You know what? I'm actually going to stop. I know I've been recording for a while. We've got this going. We'll figure out a way to attach that. That's still a little bit wet, and I want to let the front of the journal dry. So I'm going to go inside and probably sit down and watch Forensic Files. I love that show. I'm so proud of my niece, my sister's daughter. She graduated with a degree in forensic science, and she's been working on her master's, and she's going to start teaching soon. She's just I just love her to pieces, and we like kind of the same sorts of curiosities and oddities and decor. Anyway, let's just sit this right here. Who knows, maybe some of that will seep over. And I will be back really soon, and we will keep working on this. It's really important for me to do this, to kind of think out loud how I'm going to do this class, and to time everything, and to make sure I'm making the right kind of material packages for people to use. So I hope you'll come back next time. Bye for now.